more details as well as free training ebooks on evangelism, including street and campus evangelism at Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com. Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com. I encourage you to check that out. Now, what is street and campus evangelism? Now, you may have seen people with a big old microphone standing outside the roads shouting at people passing by, "You're going to hell." That's not what I'm talking about. People that do that are morons because they're not going to save any souls by doing that. You'll see all these pictures here about people doing street and campus evangelism. If you look up to the top corner at the beach, I did street evangelism there at Huntington Beach with Charles / Chuck Griffin and Joe Griffin, father and son. Both are preachers, and that one of them was up there for a gospel meeting. The other one preaches at the Huntington Church of Christ in California. And we were at the beach, and we invited people to have Bible studies, and we shared Jesus Christ. That, my friends, is street evangelism. Street evangelism is what a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses do. You'll see them on the side of the street with their track rack, or at the flea market with their track rack, or here you see a picture of a track rack, and they are there, actually out of the view of the picture, but they were there next to the gym near where I lived. They also put up a track rack and are near the library. You just walk by the library, they're right there. That's street evangelism. Now, if you're going to have a track rack, or a table, you probably will need a permit, which isn't that bad. But if you don't have want to do a permit, all you just need is a clipboard, sign-up sheet, and you could be anywhere and just approach people and ask them for a Bible study, just sign up for a Bible study. At the bottom of the picture here, you'll see me talking to an older man on Arrowhead Avenue in San Bernardino, California. And was sharing with him Jesus Christ. And so basically, street evangelism is just people walking by, and you have a clipboard, sign-up sheet, and a paper and a pen, and you invite them to sign up for Bible studies. The upper corner, right there in the middle, you see a young couple and me standing next to a table at the flea market with one of the new converts there to God. These people were interested in spiritual things. We talked with them. It's Big Top Flea Mart in Tampa, Florida. That's street evangelism. At the bottom page here, you will see at the bottom of the slide, you will see a booth at the mall. There are malls, especially poor malls or rundown malls or malls that don't have a lot of business, or malls in the country are more open to this, where you can rent a booth at the mall and have Bible study sheets ready for people to sign up for. You just need a pen, paper, sign-up sheet, and rent a booth, one of these vendor booths at the mall. And I was at a mall not too far long ago, and guess who I met? Scientologists had a vendor booth at University Mall, and they were trying to sign people up, get people involved with their Scientology church. Upper right corner, you'll see a lady and two ladies, one in red, one in brown, and there's a picture right there at the table, read God's Word daily. They are Jehovah's Witnesses. Again, the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, they're all over the place. I seldom see church members doing stuff out in the street or in the campus, but I see them all the time. And these two ladies guess where they were at? They're at the DMV. And they got a permit. They put up a table right next to DMV. And the lady in the red shirt, blouse thing, she was talking to somebody right then. So that, again, is street evangelism. Again, you don't need a, quote, permit, nor do you need a table or a booth or a vendor thing at the mall to do this. These are just examples. All you need is a paper, a sign-up sheet, and a clipboard, and a pen. Asking people to sign up for a Bible study. Easy peasy. At the bottom corner, you will see a man next to a sign that says, "Give your life to Jesus Christ." When I was living in San Bernardino, California, apartment street where I was living, right from that street, There was this couple. They had that sign, and people walking by, and they're engaging people and talking to people. That, my friends, is street evangelism. Approaching folks with street evangelism and interactions is amazing thing. For beginners, holding a Bible up and asking when they're passing by, "Would you like a free Bible?" is a great attention getter. The response does not matter if they say yes or no. If you get their attention and you get a response and you get an interaction going, that is the focus of asking that question. The goal is to get Bible study signatures. It's not to give out free Bibles. Giving somebody a free Bible is not going to save their soul, but it's a good way to get people's attention. This is more effective at getting Bible study signatures, is more impactful and effective than having Bible studies at the event. If I've had Bible studies with people on the street and at college campuses, and it can turn to a debate and there's an audience, and it is not the best scenario. But if you get somebody to sign up for a Bible study, then you get together with them. You're in the role of the teacher. You have curriculum prepared. It's just you and them, and you can talk to them in that authoritative role, and it's a lot more productive. Now, I'm not saying don't share Jesus Christ on the street or our college campuses, but if you can focus primarily on getting Bible study signatures and getting people involved and invested in that, primarily, that is the best outlet to go through. And again, all of these interactions, passing out Bibles, passing out flyers, inviting people to church or to a Bible study, or asking people for Bible study signatures, or sharing Jesus Christ, or talking to people, period. These are all good ways to connect with others. These connections are important. They're very important. The best way to do evangelism is to build a personal connection with people. The more personal you are, the more they invest in you personally in some way, shape, or form, the better the results. When talking to somebody about having a Bible study and it's a female, let them know it's going to be in a group setting. Let the female know that there'll be another person present who will be a woman. When I study with women, I try to bring a female along. This helps the ladies feel more comfortable. You can do this with guys as well, but they really, as guys, don't really care if there's an extra person along with them. And I try to study in an environment that is public, like Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, someplace where there's groups together, or the college library, or outdoors, in some public location, like on a college campus where there's people present. Especially, this makes a difference when it comes to females. Now, street evangelism prep. If you're doing street evangelism, good places to go are bus stops, busy walk areas in the town, or parks in the town. Work outside the courthouse, that's a great area. Outside of grocery stores and malls. It's like we talked about, some malls allow inside vendors as well. Visit places that have sport events, concerts, where you can have your team there with sign-up sheets and clipboards when an event takes place. If there's a football game or a zoo, circus taking place, or a special festival, have people with clipboards nearby, or holiday events, special events. Know the events that are taking place in your area and have people in those areas. Track the events that are taking a place in your community. There's a lot of ways to do that. Facebook events, online postings on social media. There's a lot of ways to do this. A lot of magazines, small little magazines in local communities have events that will be taking place in the town or in the city that you can be aware of and mark in your calendar. Visit beaches, fairgrounds, flea markets, town areas where the festivals, again, like flea markets, take place. Get used to the place, but walk around the area first. Get to know the area, the location, where the bathrooms are, where the restaurants are, where there's places where y'all can get drinks. It's good to know these things in advance, and places where you can direct the group to park as well. So it's good to visit that area first, so you and your group can be prepared. Have your group show up and sprout out in twos. Simply stand in a key location, smile, wave, be friendly, and ask folks, would you like to sign up for a Bible study? And from that question, if you get dialogue, more people will ask, well, like, what type of Bible study, or what church do you go to, or where will we meet at? And when you get everything prepared, you will have the location ready. You will be able to tell them what type of content you'll be sharing. You'll readily have a flyer you can give them, or a tiny card, business card that has the church and the material with that, and you can invite them to church. So it's a good door opener just to say the simple words, would you like to sign up for a Bible study? Keep in mind, the larger the foot traffic when you're doing street evangelism, the more positive responses you will get. I tend to work 3 to 5 hours in doing street evangelism. I get signatures, the method works. And the higher the foot traffic, the quicker the signatures tend to be. So high foot traffic areas are good. Evangelism preparations for setting up a booth. If you want to set up a booth like at a college campus, if they allow such activities, I go to Walmart. I get a 2 to 3 fold-up chairs at Walmart, and an 8x8 canopy tent at Walmart, and a plastic portable chair. And I put all that together inside of a little tiny wheelbarrow, folded wheelbarrow. I also get that at Walmart. And it's great because I can just haul that thing around downtown through the street at the college campuses. Just put everything in there, including all the flyers, tracts, Bibles, all the stuff I want to be taking with me. When I work doing college or street evangelism, I make a sign-up sheet that has a Bible study place listed. So like if I work at a place on the street and it's right next to Taco Bell, then I have that Taco Bell location listed in the sign-up sheet so people will know where we're going. And of course, when I contact them, I let them know that that will be the study place. It's a place they're familiar with. They're near that location. They're aware of that location. It's a public place and they're comfortable with it. If it's a college evangelism work, I let them know on the sign-up sheet it's going to be at such and such a place on the college campus, like the college library or the college food court, cafeteria. I will list that on the Bible study sign-up sheet. Again, it gives them context where the Bible study is going to be. It's going to be in a safe place, a place they're familiar with, a place very close to where they're at, and a place they can readily access. I also get a tablecloth, signs, a banner to give the booth a more right, professional look and feel about it. This makes a difference. It helps build trust. If I'm going to have a booth and a table, I want to deck it up with Bibles, religious DVDs, things that make it, give it a more professional look about it, as well as a sign promoting these things as free. People like that word free. It can get people's attention just simply by seeing a sign with the word free on it. Again, giving these things away, DVDs and Bibles, is not the best method. Personal interaction, having people commit to a Bible study, is the best method to get results. Having people sign up for a study, committing something so you can get continual follow-up interactions, is the best way. Yet these things can be used as bait to get their attention, and from there to get more interactions. Okay, now we're going to talk about college preparation. The best place to begin this type of evangelism, when I talk about street and campus evangelism, street evangelism is, in a sense, college evangelism as well, because you're doing it in outdoors where the streets and there's walkways and all that. But I mean, you can use them differently, but they are also in a lot of senses interchangeable. If you're going to start this type of evangelism work, this methodology, I encourage you to start at the college campuses. That's the easiest place to begin when it comes to, quote, street evangelism. The best place to begin is college. If it's at a college, visit the information area before you get stuff going on. Different colleges have different names for the information area: the student center, the rec center, the recreational center, different names. Ask around, find out where it's at, the information place. And once there, ask about free speech zones. Important term, free speech zones. Many states have areas on college campuses that allow people to put up a table and share content for free. All you have to do is just ask, and these three words, free speech zones. If they don't have such places, then simply ask about the days, times when they allow vendors to come. A vendor, you just pay for a booth. You can set it up if they don't allow free speech zones. And this is important. Please follow along with me right now. Google free speech zones for more info. It's good to know about this. States that don't, when I'm talking to you right now, it's 2020. It's January the 27th. So right now, states that don't allow free speech zones anymore are Colorado, Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, Missouri, Arizona, and Florida. Yes, where I live, they don't allow that either. So let me detail. If they don't allow free speech zones, and you can always have a vendor set up, booth set up. Colleges have festivals and fairs. There's a place where I live, USF, University of South Florida. They have 30,000 people. Great place to work, spiritually speaking, in evangelism. And they have vendors every Wednesday. It costs money, but it's worth it. And you can easily reach a huge demographic through being a vendor. But some colleges I've been to, like Hillsborough Community College, don't allow vendors. And since we don't have free speech areas, then I can't set up a table there. I can't set up a booth there. Instead, guess what I do? I get a pen, sign-up sheet, a paper. I look out for strategic locations on and off of campus where college foot traffic is, and I ask folks when they pass me by, would you like to do what? Would you like to sign up for an on-campus Bible study? Whether it's a vendor or it's a free speech zone, or I'm just there with a pen, pad, and paper, this is the term I use, on-campus Bible studies. It sounds legitimate, and it is. You're on campus, you're working with college people, and it's Bible studies you're doing on the campus. And it's a great way to reach people and interconnect. And there's more formats for this on my blog, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com, if you want to learn more about these details. Okay, doing the paperwork. Doesn't that sound fun? Doing the paperwork. Okay, once you find the place at college to get permission, vendor or free speech, they will probably give you a sign-up sheet for you to fill out. And some colleges, I was at a college in California, they didn't even require that. They just said, sure, this is a free speech zone college, just go to work. This is the area where you can work. I didn't have to sign anything at all. But for colleges that do require a sign-up sheet, I personally give it back to them in person a few days before the planned evangelism event to make sure everything is in order and ready. The sign-up sheet usually asks, this is what they ask for. They ask for your name, your group's name, what the group does, what the event is about. I simply say the church name, or if I have a Bible study group name, I use that. And I say, we're just going to pass out Bibles. Harmless, easy to do. And nobody usually is bothered by such a terminology. Yeah, a bunch of people are going to pass out Bibles, free Bibles. And again, whenever I interact with such groups, when I'm signing up the sheet and they ask about what I'm doing, I just simply say the word free. Yeah, we're going to pass out free Bibles and invite people to have some free Bible DVDs if they're interested. Also, the sign-up sheet may ask where you want to do the event. Some places will have multiple places where free speech zones, and you can pick where you want to work, which is great. And all the places that have free speech zones are usually in an open area where there's foot traffic, from my experiences, which is, again, fantastic. The place will they'll ask you what free speech zone you want to go to. Will probably have a map, and you can pick where you want to go from the sign up sheet. And again, you don't have to sign everything up right then and there. You can go take the sheet, take it home, look over the areas on the map, and decide later. Turn it in a few days later, and then. But it's always good to have everything ready at least a couple days in advance before the event. I personally go outside of the booth when I do approach people when I'm doing campus evangelism, and outside of the booth, I go and interact with folks, or I put the booth very close in a free speech zone, very close to the student walkway. Some places are so busy near foot traffic, you don't even need to leave the booth. People just come up and interact with you. You know, some places require you to leave the booth due to less foot traffic. Don't do this in front of the college staff. It's never, um, I never have gotten in trouble doing this, leaving the booth, but it's always good to stay nearby the booth or in the booth if the faculty watch patrol comes by. It's just good common sense. Now, if they see outside of the booth, uh, and again, if you do leave the booth, you can leave them but don't go too far away. Just close enough where you can interact with students. When they walk by, you can leave it and just say, "Hey, how are you doing? My name is Joseph Sullivan. How are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm doing pretty good." "Oh, that's great to hear. We're signing some people up for on-site Bible study, campus Bible study. Would you be interested?" "Oh, sure, sure. Let me know more about it." "Okay." And so basically, you can leave the booth when you see people approaching. When they leave, you can go back to the booth. But when you leave the booth, don't go too far away. I mean, not across the whole entire campus or anything. Just a little bit from the booth if you must to interact with people. Evangelism is proactive and interactive. It's not just standing around or sitting on a chair and watching people walk by. That is not evangelism. Things to consider when it comes to evangelism. When people write down the one Bible study is their name, their signature, their address, or the phone number, I write down a brief description of that person so I can remember them. Like their height, their weight, their age, their any interesting personality aspects about them, their clothing. Um, she was blonde. She was 35, roundish. She had big old goggles on and uh, bell bottom, pants, or whatever. So just something that her style of dress, her personality, her looks, or his looks, it does help you to remember that person when you do see them. What I also do is I text those people that have signed up by name the same day. The more time that passes, the less likely they will follow through. I text a warm personal message letting people know who I am, why I'm contacting them. I make it a point to thank them for signing up, and I add them to my phone directory with EV before the name so I will know it is a contact who is calling/texting if they call or text back. It's good to have a frame of reference when somebody contacts you. So I always have the EV so I'll know if it's somebody that is part of the evangelism work. I use Excel to log into contacts and details surrounding work that has been done with them. And I use Excel to log in the time I did the work, the type of event I did the work, the place I did the work, the follow through, if I contacted them, and also if they contacted me, and if I'm going to get together with them for a Bible study, I'll log that in. So just basic details about the work that's taking place, and who helped me with the event. Just details to know about the recorded event that was being done. My example sign-up sheets can be downloaded at the blog section of my site, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com. Okay, here's a picture of me working at the booth with some Church of Christ brethren. And great experience doing that. Now, here's some things I want to point out. In evangelism, any evangelism type of work you do, it's important to know this word, personal. Be personal. It matters. Get the details down. On the sign-up sheet, I have sections where contacts can sign up for the preferred days, times for the study. The more they commit on paper, let me restate that, the more they commit on paper and signing the date, the time, as well as their name and phone number, the more invested they will be. When I text them, I mention the day and time they committed to. I ask if it is still a good time. Sometimes contacts won't respond for weeks, even more so. One person waited I think it was near a month before they responded back, but they respond. So it may not always be your time frame as well. I found when I get 20 to 30 signatures, 20 to 30 signatures for a Bible study, I tend to get one text back for a Bible study on average. One text back for a study. So you got to do a lot of work. You got to get a lot of Bible study signatures. The more signatures you get, the more texts back you will get. The more texts you get back, guess what's going to happen? The more Bible studies you're going to get. Now, when I'm at an event, I try to be personal. The longer the interaction, the better for me. Though this is not a must, it does help. And also being humble, meek as milk, and approaching people makes a difference. Texting people makes a difference. If you're going to interact with people, be humble. Humble takes people off the defensive role. It makes people more trusting and less guarded. If you're, quote, as meek as milk. Arrogance and haughtiness and, oh, I'm better than you, and any of that is off-putting. Meek as milk is not. If I talk with a contact about something, maybe I prayed for their dying mom or a runaway daughter, I will mention that in my text as well, about the shared experience we had in talking about something. Also share any activities we did together that were rapport building. It started raining, and we talked about the craziness of the rain, and he or she stayed under the canopy where we're doing outreach, and we talked about the weather. I'll mention that in the report. If there was something crazy that just took place, and we talked about that in the news, I'll mention that in the text. Something that we both shared. Reminders of such activities, of something we both shared in doing evangelism, is rapport building. Okay, so here's some helpful facts. Leaders can have the workers meet up at the church building afterwards to talk about the interactions. We talked about this before, but this is very important. They need to know the discussions, the interest shown, the things that were accomplished. And anytime somebody interacts with somebody else in any way and has anything that happens to them because of their interaction with somebody else, that is a success. Whether you prayed with somebody, they asked Bible questions, they talked to you about Jesus, or you share something about the truth with them, anything, or you give them a flyer for church, or you invite them for a Bible study. Any interaction is a success because you have shared Christ and you've planted a seed. Please remember that. Have these members who are in your group share the interactions they had socially. It's good to record any positive interactions people had and then compliment them for it. Let them know that matters. Everything they do and the interactions they did matters. They're planting seeds. And seeds, my friends, even if you don't see it, can yield results. Powerful thing. I've heard of people that have come to the Lord because somebody else planted a seed, and then me and a group I have worked with, got the harvest. Planting seeds is powerful. Again, when I get Bible study signatures, I text people who signed up. I give the reason for texting. I'm personal and warm in the message. I don't call. The reason I don't do this, it puts them on the spot. They may not have had time to pick a day to get together yet. They also may be startled by a call. They may be taking care of the baby or washing clothes, and they're busy with something. And so it's off-putting. A text gives them plenty of time to think about it and get back when they're ready. I text the contact 1 hour before. When we do get a Bible study set up, I text the contact 1 hour before the meetup, and I let them know we're coming. And I ask if they're still coming, and you probably would want to do that as well if you want to get a confirmation before the meetup. You don't want to show up somewhere and them not be there. So it's always good to ask if they're still coming. It's good to have that frame of reference in mind. If they did not give specifics, on the sign-up sheet, I do have the day and the time, so people can put that down. They want to get together on Thursday at 4 p.m. Um, so I do have times that it makes it easier to text people if they have committed a day and time. I can simply say, "Hey, Sally, this is Joseph from the Bible study group." That's what I usually use as a term for a Bible study. Uh, uh, Organization. When I say organization, I mean a bunch of Christians getting together and doing the work. Hey, Sally, this is Joseph from the Bible study group. Just texting you to see if Thursday at 4 p.m. still works. We look forward to seeing you. Um, and it'll be great to talk with you later. God bless. Talk with you soon. Bye. Something simple, just to confirm what they already have invested in with their time and their day. But if they have not given a sign-up sheet for us, but if they haven't given specifics, I text them as well. I thank them for signing up. I commend them for their spiritual interests, and then I ask them what time and day works best for them on the week. At the at the designated place that was mentioned in the sign-up sheet, I'll also mention that if I sign some folks up for a Bible study and it's near Wendy's and it's on the sign-up sheet, I'll mention, hey, um, Billy Joe, it's great talking with you, man. Last Monday about having a Bible study. I look forward to getting together with you at Wendy's for us to study the Word of God. Let me know what day and time works best for you for this week or next week, whatever works. Let me know, my friend. Talk with you soon. Take care. Bye. Nice, warm, friendly text. Keep it simple, keep it short, be personal, be warm. Okay. Be prepared and have a good lessons ready. Now, nothing worse if you're inviting people for Bible studies, you don't have any curriculum. I talk about unprepared. When I text people about the place and location for a Bible study, I will mention also that I will be wearing such and such, like a red shirt, something that they can readily notice me. I want to get to the Bible place early. If the place is very big or crowded, I text people they'll be outside. I also say when we get together, I use the word we when talking with them in connection to Bible study, so they know it won't just be me. And I like to use if it's a female, let them know there's going to be a female present. Also, the day of, if it was a little while back since I texted a contact, I will text them a reminder saying, "Hey, Sue Brown, we'll see you soon. We're looking forward to talking with you again." So let me restate this. When I get together for our Bible study, I text them the time, the location. I mention I'll be wearing something so they can readily notice me. I like a red shirt or black a leather coat or a green sweater or something. And then I let them know that if it's a big crowded place, I'll be outside waiting for them. We will be waiting for them. And I'll be highlighting that in warm, friendly terms. We look forward to seeing you. We'll be waiting for you outside. Also, I let them know before the Bible study. I text them an hour before, so just to make sure they're still coming and to remind them. Sometimes people forget to remind them about the Bible study. Now, when meeting the person for if it's newcomer, and I'm not sure if it's the contact, and some people come into the restaurant or people walk up to the entrance, and I'm not sure. Guess what? It doesn't hurt to ask. Sitting there and waiting for someone to approach you does not always work. People tend to be passive. So if you want someone to come to a Bible study with you and you're not sure if the person that is nearby is that person or not, try to check. Same way with street campus evangelism at a booth. Don't be passive. When people are there, approach someone, wave, smile, talk to them, invite them for a study. It may be hard at first, but the more you do this, the easier it gets. Again, if people show up for a Bible study and you're not sure if that's the person or not, ask them if they are here for a Bible study. At the booth, when people are walking by, don't just stand there like a log. Go up to people, smile, wave, invite them to sign up for a Bible study. Be proactive, be assertive. When I meet somebody for a Bible study, I bring a salvation study aid. I tell them when we sit down that we'll begin, let me restate this, that we will begin at the basics first. That's the terminology I use, that we will begin at the basics first. I do the study in one setting. The more time passes in doing studies before teaching all of salvation, the more time the pastors, the parents, ethic will study with them on with other false doctrines and work on them, or the more time they will talk to them and dissuade them from doing what the Bible teaches to undermine the work that is being done in sharing Jesus Christ. Grounding them in salvation in one setting is also important as best. Sharing with them in one setting the true church and Bible authority is important. Now, there's a plenty of curriculum out there, but I have free downloadable curriculum at Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com for one setting, lessons on salvation, and one setting, lessons on the one true church. I encourage you to, after you study with folks, if you guys keep having studies, to use other curriculum to further ground people in the Word of God and in the true church and salvation and Bible studies. But it's good to get that done, each one of these type of themes, salvation and true church, done in one setting. If you go to the site, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com, you'll also learn key teaching techniques at this page. This link has my evangelism blog that's worth checking out when it comes to street and campus evangelism. Final thoughts. If you work consistently in our personal, if you get commitments, Bible study signatures, or Bible studies, if you follow through and contact the people who signed up for studies, if you contact enough people, get enough signatures, text enough contacts, guess what will happen? You will get results. Results will come with regular work, time investment, and in generating numbers. If you generate numbers, the more numbers you get, the more contacts you'll get. The more contacts you'll get, the more results you will get. And all that requires to get contacts is time investment. Thank you for watching this. God bless you. Again, for more contact details, go to the site, Church of Christ Street Campus Evangelism.com, to learn more about street and campus evangelism.